Climbing technique.
Before we climb, we're going to warm up the muscles that we're going to use while we climb. You use a lot of shoulder when you climb. Rotate the arms very slowly. Then go back the other way. Okay, now you do this. Alternate sides. Then we'll do this exercise called torso twist. This loosens up the back muscles and shoulder muscles. When you climb a tree, you do a lot of looking up, so we'll loosen up our neck muscles first. Do half rotations. Do the top half. Rotate slowly. Then we'll do the bottom half. Front to back. Side to side. And twist. Okay, you used your hands a whole lot in climbing, so we're going to do a little bit of wrist twisting here. Basically, you point your thumb towards your face, grab your hand and twist it one way, hold it, go back the other way, hold it, put your elbow to the side, pull down on your hand, and then go back the other way, pull back, shake your hand, other hand, twist, twist the other direction, elbow to the side, pull down, and the other way. Shake it out. Now, in these exercises I just did, you saw me do them fairly quickly. You want to do them about 3 times each side. Your last exercise, you only have to need to do once. And basically, you spread your legs apart and very slowly go down. Hold yourself. Don't bounce. Don't force yourself. Hold it. Relax. Let yourself just droop down a little bit. Relax. And come up very, very slowly. Don't come up fast. Come up very slowly. There is another exercise which is optional, and this is a yoga exercise, and this is forcing out the residual air that's in your lungs. Now, what you need to do is put your hand right below your navel. It's called a tree bark. Let your air out and bark. You're forcing out all the residual air that's in the bottom of your lung. This sort of purges your lungs out and gets you ready for some good breathing. Tree bark. Okay, it's time to put a gear on. Before I got my helmet on, you always want to climb with a helmet. So I'm going to put my harness on real quick here. Step through my harness. Make sure that your belt buckle is on firmly and correctly. It's a friction buckle. You want to pass it through and pass it back on itself. This is where I make it pass back on itself, right here. This is the most important pass right here. That's your third pass. Very important. I'm going to go ahead and put my leg straps on. Now this is a tree climbing harness, so they don't have to be real tight. We're going to make a very basic foot loop, and to make this foot loop we're going to use a knot called a single fisherman's knot. So you grab your two ends here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make what we call a half hitch loop on one side. The other side I do the same thing. I make a half hitch loop. And you notice the two tails are facing away from the center. So then to finish up the knot, I've tied it, I've dressed it, and now I'm going to set it. This is not a life support knot because you'll be using this below your support system, which is your brakes hitch. Okay, from your point of view, grab both ends. One end starts here. It goes underneath, comes over, you go through the loop you created, and it faces out. That's one side. Now you do the other side, the same way. Go underneath, come around, and the tail end faces to my right. Tie, dress, and you know it's right when you pull on both sides and it sets. They just lay down right next to each other. Okay, now we're going to show you how to attach the foot loop to the standing part or the long end of the climbing rope. Cross your loop right on the very top. Hold the knotted end at the bottom here. Cross the loop on the top. Come through once. Then come through the same place second time. Tie. Dress the knot. Then set it. And there she is. Pressing knot. Okay, this is a pressing knot from your point of view. Cross over the top with a loop here. Come through the loop once. And come through the same place the second time. Tie it, dress it, and set it. It's very important to dress the knot so it grabs correctly. When you look at this knot really closely, it looks like it's got 4 fingers that are sort of grabbing the rope. Now, if one of the loops crosses over on itself right here, like this, it's very likely to slip. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and step right up to the rope here and go ahead and clip on in. I'm using double locking carabiners. These are spring-loaded carabiners. I'm going to clip right into this figure 8 on a bite right here. Let go. Just to make sure that I'm clipped in correctly, I'm going to do what we call a gate check. I'm going to grab that carabiner and squeeze it just to make sure that gate's closed. I'm going to tighten up, get the rope firm, sit down in the harness just to see, make sure everything feels right, feels positioned correctly. Move around, shift if you have to. Stand back up, reposition your harness, sit back down. Okay, on rope, I'm ready to climb. Okay, now that I'm clipped in, I'm going to do a couple of safety checks. This one's called a bounce test. I'm going to walk back from the tree just a little bit at an angle. And I'm going to bounce a little bit on the rope. The reason I'm doing this is if my rope is looped over a dead branch or something's going to happen, it's going to happen close to the ground if a little dead branch or something breaks out, it's going to fall right over here rather than on the top of my head. Okay, we're going to do one last safety check, and it's called a back check. B-A-C-K. B stands for belt, A stands for anchor, C stands for carabiner, and K stands for knot. So here we go. B, belt. I want to look at my belt. I'm going to make sure everything is right, correct, and make sure my belt's connected correctly. A, I will look at my anchor. That's what I'm hanging off of. I'll be looking up here just to make sure that I've got my rope looped over a good branch. C, that's carabiner. I want to make sure my carabiner is shut correctly here. And K, I want to take a look at my knots here. Make sure all my knots are tied correctly. Now that is a shot signal, and then the way it goes is back check, then you run through the progression. Now we're ready to climb. Now I want to show you the hard way to climb. There's two ways to climb. There's the hard way and then there's the easy way. This is the hard way. I'm going to just use my arms alone. So I'm going to sit down in my harness like this. And I'm just going to pull the rope up with my arms. Pull up. Slide the knot up. Pull up. Slide the knot up. This is the hard way. This is a real good workout. Now, if you notice, I can let go anytime I'm held in place. This is the hard way. There's an easier way to climb, and that's by using a foot assist method. Now, we've already tied the foot loop on, so we'll start with it. We'll slide up the foot loop here so we can get a foot into it. This is a single loop foot loop. Some people use two loops on one line here, but we'll be using a single foot loop here. So we put our foot in here, slide the knot up. You want your knees right around waist level. Don't bring them up in your chest, right about waist level. Both your hands go up. I put my foot right underneath my butt, and I just stand straight down, slide the knot up. So what's happening is my body weight is hoisting me up into the tree rather than pulling myself up with the arms alone, which is a great workout. But if I don't want to have that great workout and want to make it a little easier for myself, I use a foot assist method. Again, slide it up. Hands go up here underneath the Blake's hitch, and then stand straight down. Slide the knot up at your own leisure. Now, while you're climbing with this foot loop, sometimes it gets a little bit tight, and all you got to do is take your foot out of the foot loop and just sort of push these two strands right here, and that makes it loose where they slide a lot easier. Very simple. All right, here's another foot assist method. It's just using the ropes without using the foot loop. I'm going to make a cross and a rope right here and put my foot right in it, like this. And basically all I need to do is point my foot straight down, and you notice how the rope locks on itself like that. So my hands go right up underneath the Blake's hitch. Make sure you don't grab the Blake's hitch. Keep your hands below the Blake's hitch. And I point my foot straight down, stand straight up, slide the knot up. Again, point my foot down, stand up, keep my feet below my butt here, slide the knot up. When you get up a few feet, the weight of the rope will sort of make it run a lot easier. Sometimes they'll slide. All right, here's another foot assist method without using a foot loop. So the rope will be on the outside edge of your foot. You come up underneath it with your bottom foot, raise your knee up, and you just stand on it. It's called foot lock. Raise my knee up, come up underneath, stand on it. This is a very fast method. And very easy. Foot lock. Okay, there's one other foot assist method you can use, and this uses a cam that you strap to your foot. It's called a Pantene. So basically all you do Straps right onto your foot here. Pull tight. So what I need to do now is I need to clip the cam onto the rope. So open the cam up, slip the rope in. Now here's a real neat little trick. I'm going to clip a carabiner. There's a hole right here. I'm going to clip a carabiner right into that hole there. The reason I want to do that, if I don't do that, as I'm moving the rope, the cam will open up. The rope will come out. You won't fall or anything. It's just very annoying when your rope slips out of the cam. So again, put it in. Clip a carabiner. It could be a little key carabiner, something really small. It doesn't have to be a big carabiner. So I'm ready to roll. So basically all I need to do is, just like the other foot loops, I step straight down, slide the knot up. Make sure your hands keep away from touching the Blake stitch right here or on the top. You want your hands right up underneath the Blake stitch. Again. This one's real smooth because all I have to do is just raise my leg up and it automatically advances up that cam. Get up a few feet and the weight of the rope will pull it automatically. See how it automatically feeds? The further you go up, the better it works. By the way, we're about 8 feet off the ground. Now is a good time to tie a safety knot right about here. Cross over the top, make a loop, pull another loop out, make a big one, set it, continue on upwards. Now that's the easy way. Now, another good thing to know is to, of course, how to come down out of the tree. So basically all it is very simple, is you put your hand, this is called the hitch hand, goes up, 2 fingers on the very top of the knot, this is called your control hand. You very, very lightly pull straight down on the Blake's hitch, very lightly, let go, you're held in place. Again, the hitch hand goes up, 2 fingers on top of the Blake's hitch, very slowly pull down, it's your control hand right here, sort of back up, come down. Now as you notice, our safety knot's coming up as we're going down. And that's why we tie these safety knots. That way if you come down too fast, it stops you. That is your safety backup. That's what we call a safety knot.